Mahua Moitra, the TMC MP, has been suspended from her Lok Sabha membership. This comes as a shocker to the opposition parties, to the TMC, to Mahua Moitra herself, who otherwise is known as a firebrand leader and has always been seen taking on the ruling dispensation of the BJP, especially targeting the Prime Minister on several fronts, including what he claims to be the corruption charges against the Modi government, also the role, the alleged involvement of what she claims to be a nexus between the BJP government and several bigger business families. She has been a vocal critique, but this particular case where she was questioned, she was under the scanner for cash for question scam, something that started making headlines 2 months ago. Then there was an ethics panel that was constituted by the Lok Sabha, and that panel also met in the beginning of the month of November, where Mahua Moitra attended but then walked out of it shouting and angry over the demeanor, quote-unquote, which was unethical. And she said that the ethics committee itself is, quote-unquote, unethical. Now, this was something which framed as a precursor to what was set to come. And 8th of December, when the ethics committee panel report was presented in the Lok Sabha, it was being discussed and deliberated upon. And the message that is coming out of Lok Sabha is that she has now been suspended. She was not allowed to speak during the discussion inside the House. And the report, basically the ethics committee report probing unethical conduct of the Trinamool Congress TMC MP, had recommended that Moitra may be expelled from the Lok Sabha and called an intense legal institutional inquiry. This was the message that was coming in earlier. And now the report said that the serious misdemeanors on the part of Mahua Moitra calls for severe punishment. The committee therefore recommended that Mahua Moitra MP may be expelled from the membership of the 17th Lok Sabha. Earlier participating in the debate over the ethics panel report, Manish Tiwari, a Congress leader who was nominated by Congress also to speak on the issue, questioned whether the procedure of the ethics committee overrides the fundamental principle of natural justice. Can the procedure of ethics committee override the fundamental principle of natural justice, which is the organizing principle of every justice system in the world? From what we read in the newspaper, the one who has been made an accused, she was not able to complete her deposition. What kind of procedure is this? This is Congress's Manish Tiwari. Tiwari further said that the ethics committee can recommend whether a member is guilty or not, but it cannot decide what would be the exact punishment. And he goes on to say that this is a fundamental distinction, that power lies within the House. The ethics committee can best make recommendations, but not decide. See, this is again, the debate was going on in the parliament. Several party members spoke from different political parties in the Lok Sabha. The question here is that the expulsion of Mahua Moitra in case of a breach of the parliamentary code about giving her credentials, login credentials to someone outside the realms of parliament was risky. But Mahua Moitra responded. Let's listen to what she had to say.
This Lok Sabha has also seen the weaponization of a parliamentary committee. Ironically, the ethics committee, which was set up to serve as a moral compass for members. Instead, it has been abused egregiously today to do exactly what it was never meant to do, which is to bulldoze the opposition and become another weapon to talk us into submission. This committee and this report has broken every rule in the book. In essence, you are finding me guilty of breaching a code of ethics that does not exist. The committee is punishing me for engaging in a practice that is routine, accepted, and encouraged in the House. The findings are based solely on the written testimonies of two private citizens whose versions contradict each other in material terms, none of whom I was allowed to cross-examine. One of the two private citizens is my estranged partner who, with malified intention, masqueraded as a common citizen in front of the committee. The two testimonies have been used to hang me. They're at polar opposites to each other. The complainant says, I accepted cash in consideration from a businessman to ask questions in furtherance of his commercial interests. But the businessman's suo motu affidavit says I pressurized him into uploading questions to further my agenda. The two are at polar opposites. The Ethics Committee, without getting to the root of this, has decided to hang me. It refused to summon the businessman to orally testify, and there is no evidence of any cash, of any gifts anywhere. The recommendation of expulsion is based solely on the ground that I have shared my Lok Sabha portal login. There are no rules whatsoever to govern the sharing of logins. As the hearing of the Ethics Committee demonstrates, all of us MPs are conveyor belts to get questions from the public, from citizens, and to voice that in Parliament. What is important is that if this Modi government thought that by shutting me up, they are going to do away with the Adani issue, let me tell you this, that this kangaroo court has only shown to the all of India that the haste and the abuse of due process you have used demonstrates how important Mr. Adani is to you and to what length you will go to harass a single woman MP into shutting her into submission. Tomorrow the CBI will be sent to my house. I'm sure they will harass me for the next 6 months. But I would like to ask, what about the 13,000 crore coal scam of Mr. Adani that the CBI and the ED have not found place to look at? You tell me I have compromised national security with a login portal? Mr. Adani is buying all our ports, all our airports, and his shareholders are foreign professional investors, and the Ministry of Home Affairs is giving them clearance to buy all our infrastructure. Ramesh Biduri stands up in Parliament and says to Danish Ali, he's one of 26 Muslim MPs, only one of 26. In a country of 200 million Muslims, the BJP has 303 MPs and has not sent one Muslim to Parliament. Ramesh Biduri stood up and told Danish Ali, ye bhadwa, ye katwa, no action has been taken.